When the score is going your way, you get a little nervous here and there. You have to be cautious, but I'm thrilled to be here. 10,000 Filipino fans came to see more than a match. They came to witness history. And before the first serve, they delivered something no one saw coming. Karolina Muchova, fresh off a title win, stepped onto the court, the undeniable favorite. World number 14 against 29. She'd beaten Eala 6-0, 6-2 before, a beatdown that should have killed any crowd spirit. But this wasn't just any crowd. What happened after the match with Muchova standing victorious, surrounded by thousands of cheering, heartbroken fans, truly caught her off guard. In her interview, she couldn't hide it. Alex Eala lost the match, but her fans had won the arena. If you love stories like this, subscribe now. We find the details others miss. So what did 10,000 fans do that rattled a world-class pro? It starts with what Muchova said. Her careful words after the match revealed the immense pressure she felt in that stadium. She said, "It's not that easy. You have to keep your focus, keep up the pressure." Let that sink in. She won 6-0, 6-2, a flawless performance converting all 5 breakpoints. She hit 20 winners to only 11 errors. Statistically, it was one of her cleanest matches all season. And she's telling an interviewer that it was tough. Why the stands? It was all because of the energy coming from the stands. This is what set them apart. Most fan bases go silent when their player is routed in 22 minutes. They slump in their seats. They get that look on their face. The look that says, this is going to be painful. Not these fans. Down 6-0 after the first set, the Filipino fans never wavered. As Muchova stormed to a 4-0 lead in the second, the chants never stopped. "Fight Alex!" echoed from every corner, a sea of Philippine flags and fan shirts. These were supporters who traveled to Miami just for this moment. When Eala finally won a game, making it 4-1, the stadium absolutely erupted. For a second, it sounded like she'd won a Grand Slam, not just avoided a complete shutout. That was the power those fans brought, and Muchova felt all of it. She confessed that despite the lopsided score, she fought to maintain her focus, to keep the pressure on and not let the atmosphere break her rhythm. For a player of her level, a French Open finalist, to struggle with a crowd while winning so easily tells you everything. To get why this affected Muchova, you have to understand who Alex Eala is to her country. Star Alex Eala commands the spotlight at the tennis paradise in Indian Wells. It has been packed for players like Alex Eala. Seeing the Filipino fans and understanding why they'd never act like a normal tennis crowd. Eala is 20. She left home for Spain at 13 to train building her career while her country watched and waited. In the Philippines, basketball and boxing are everything. Tennis was an afterthought, a sport without stars. Then Eala arrived. At the 2025 Miami Open, the 140th ranked wildcard shocked the world. She took down 3 Grand Slam champions in a row in straight sets, reaching the semis, a first for any Filipino player. That run transformed the nation's relationship with the sport. By the 2026 Miami Open, Eala was a top 30 player and her fans were a global force. At the Australian Open, 2 months prior, her court was overflowing with hundreds turned away. Her opponent, Alicia Parks, admitted the crowd completely rattled her in a 6-0 first-set loss. Commentators, players, and forums all began saying the same thing. The Filipino fans were turning every court into a home court for Eala. Miami was simply on another scale. The stadium was huge, and South Florida's massive Filipino community turned out in force, making it feel less like a match and more like a national holiday. But this is where the story took the turn that truly got to Muchova. It was a demolition. The media's Czech curse became a brutal reality. 0-13. 13 matches against Czech pros since 2020, 13 losses, not a single win. This wasn't a near miss. It was a masterclass from Mucha, a clinic that exposed the gulf in skill too vast to overcome that night. But Eala didn't flinch. In the press conference, she was cool and brutally honest. "I wasn't at my best, but she's a huge reason why. There are things I could have executed better." She offered zero excuses for the massive rap on her left thigh. No deflection, just raw accountability from a 20-year-old taken apart on the same court that had crowned her a year earlier. Then she addressed her fans, watching from halfway across the world. She said, "I'm still happy, not disappointed. Thank you so much, my fellow Filipinos. The fight goes on, and I'll see you in Europe." That message after a 6-love, 6-2 thrashing landed differently than you'd think. Not a single boo, no frustration aimed at their fallen hero, just a roaring ovation that echoed long after she was gone. And in that exact moment, the story stopped being about a tennis match. Muchova was still on the court. She heard it all. And let's be crystal clear about what happened next. She didn't collapse in tears. It was quieter than that, and somehow more powerful. In her on-court interview, she fumbled for words trying to explain the feeling. She confessed to being nervous even while cruising to victory. She mentioned how hard it was to focus when the energy in the stadium was that electric. And when she turned to the crowd, to the Filipino fans who had just watched their champion get crushed, still loud, still pouring love into the arena, you could see her composure crack. This is an athlete who feels everything. At the 2025 US Open, she cried mid-match after seeing her ex-boyfriend in the stands. She never ever hides her emotions, so when this crowd, a crowd that wasn't hers, a crowd whose hero she had just dismantled, moved her to the brink of tears, it spoke volumes about the power they brought. It was a level of sportsmanship beyond rivalry, to stand by your player through a humiliating loss without turning bitter, to keep that energy pure, and then applaud with such grace. That is incredibly rare. Muchova felt it, and it got to her. This moment was bigger than one match. Eala's clay season starts April 6th in Austria, her first WTA 500 on the surface, and the damage from Miami is real. She'll bleed roughly 270 ranking points, plummeting from number 29 to the mid-40s for failing to defend her points. But the cultural phenomenon around her is surging in the opposite direction. The WTA launched the Philippine Women's Open in January 2026, the nation's first ever WTA event born directly from the Eala effect. The final sold out before she even confirmed she'd play. Coco Gauff, after batting Eala in Dubai, specifically acknowledged her fans. Opponents see it. Tournament directors see it. The WTA sees it. 10,000 Filipino fans in Miami did more than just cheer through a loss. They showed one of the planet's best athletes what unwavering, unconditional loyalty truly is. Muchova won the match, but the fans won the night, and the Czech star, standing in a storm of their warmth and heartbreak, couldn't deny it. Alex Eala lost an hour of tennis. But she left Miami with something no ranking can ever define, proof that her fans are a force the entire tennis world is now forced to watch. And that force made the winner cry. This is why you must look beyond the score, which only ever tells half the story. If you want the other half every single week, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out, and drop a comment. Will Eala finally shatter the Czech curse in 2026? We read everyone.